PlayStation 2 turned 25 this year, had well over 4,000 games released onto the platform, and despite being from 3 generations ago, we're still talking about it as if it was released just yesterday. Although official support for the console ended in 2013, there still is a thriving bootleg market that's been producing quote-unquote new games, if you want to call them that, in 2025. So in today's video, I'm going to take you on to a journey through the wacky world of illegal PlayStation 2 bootlegs. From spending quality time with true PlayStation classics such as GTA Spiderman City to exploring an unofficial port of Minecraft running on a PlayStation 2. This is exploring illegal PS2 games. So what exactly is a PlayStation 2 bootleg? In a nutshell, it's when someone copies a game disc, burns it onto a DVD, and sells it for profit. If you grew up in North America, it's likely that you've never come across or have heard of this phenomenon before. This black market for illegal PlayStation 2 games has been around since the 2000s, and even to this day, bootlegs are still being produced for the console. The reason PS2 bootlegs exist in the first place can be contributed to a ton of different factors. For an example, in certain countries, officially licensed games are subjected to a high import tax. One licensed game can cost the same amount as 1/5 of the annual salary of your average person in countries such as Brazil. From a consumer standpoint, would you rather spend $69 on a single game and not be able to eat for the rest of the month, or spend at least $5 to $10 per game instead? Considering just how accessible and lax the law is surrounding illegal bootlegs, it starts to make sense as to why so many people see this as a viable option. In some instances, finding and being able to purchase officially licensed games is next to impossible. While researching this topic, I stumbled upon a video called PlayStation 2 Graveyard in Iraq, where the cameraman walks into this building full of PlayStation 2 DVDs. One of the first games that you see in frame is a bootleg version of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. There's also some other goofy games here too, such as Resident Evil 5, Operation Raccoon City, and Lego Ratman. The crazy part of all this is that the people living there were none the wiser that they were purchasing an actual bootleg, since the internet, especially in the 2000s, wasn't widely available in the country. Now, the biggest franchise that gets bootlegged the most in the PlayStation 2 would have to be the Grand Theft Auto series. The vast majority of them are nothing more than a simple texture mod. In most cases, it amounts to someone swapping the CJ player model with the most craziest shit known to man.
Hey, baby, you okay, man? Nah, man. It's my mom's, homie.
Everything from being able to play as Vegeta from DBZ to running around Los Santos as Sonic the Hedgehog. Apparently, there is a bootleg floating around the world called Grand Theft Auto Tom Cruise in GBA City. I couldn't seem to find a rip of this online, but if you happen to have this on hand, please upload to something like Internet Archive. Now, there's a lot of ground to cover here since the internet is flooded with these bootlegs, so I decided to start with one of the most popular OG PlayStation 2 bootlegs, that being Grand Theft Auto Batman Edition. Now, the origins of this bootleg can be traced back to somewhere in the Middle East. I went digging and came across a supposed photo of the disc on Reddit. When you translate the Arabic words on the disc, it reads, "For the first time, the car thief game is playable with a Batman character." One user in the thread mentioned that they remember getting this at a gift exchange circa 2008 while living in Brazil, while another user suggested that this could have originated from either Jordan or Syria. I also kind of wonder if this disc was for the PC version, as there isn't any sort of PS2 logo or watermark for that matter. If you happen to remember this game from back in the day, please let me know in the comments down below. Alright, so when you first boot up Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Batman Edition, say that 3 times fast, it greets you with this Windows Movie Maker video ripped straight from the 2000s.
I want you to know the power of the underground.
The music in that crisp 240p quality serves as a nice throwback to a simpler time on YouTube. Anyways, the video seems to progressively get shittier the longer you watch it. Here's a fun fact about Grand Theft Auto Batman Edition. The song that plays in the intro was considered lost media for over a decade. The origins of the track were discovered back in 2022. Turns out the song is called Weapon of Choice by a dude named NIKO. Apparently it was produced in Canada as well too. Big ups to that. I'll leave a link to the track in the description down below. According to the website that I downloaded GTA Batman from, it's basically just a reskin with a few additional Batman vehicles thrown into the mix. One cool detail that I did notice was how the moon is replaced with the Batman logo, similar to how Gordon would project the logo in The Dark Knight Rises. Outside of that, the bootleg isn't anything too exciting. I honestly feel like this was a bit of a missed opportunity. Not being able to do stuff like glide around the map, or even go for the effort of modding a grappling hook would have really fit the whole Batman aesthetic quite well. I suppose if you ever wanted to see Batman bust a cap into someone,
"You got issues now, bitch,"
then Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Batman Edition is for you. Since we're on the superhero theme, I managed to find a copy of Grand Theft Auto Spiderman City. Now, Grand Theft Auto Spiderman City doesn't start with a crusty Windows Movie Maker intro, but instead we're blessed with photos of Brazilian Spider-Man. It looks like something that you would see out of a school project. If anyone knows where these screenshots are from, please let me know in the comments down below. So Grand Theft Auto Spiderman City is a simple texture mod for San Andreas. CJ is replaced with this goofy ass Spider-Man skin, while certain textures in the environment have been replaced with Spidey's face plastered all over them. I was hoping for some sort of web swinging mechanic, or even being able to shoot a web onto someone, but unfortunately I was left disappointed. So, I guess it's kinda cool.
"Welcome to America, asshole."
Here's a fun fact about Grand Theft Auto Spider City. The creator behind this mod, Geomatrix, is also known for creating the Bomba Patch, one of the most popular mods for PES in Latin America. Another fun fact is how they released a 2025 version of Bomba Patch that supports the Xbox 360, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PS5, PlayStation Vita, and even the PSP. So cool. While editing this video, I somehow managed to stumble upon yet another Grand Theft Auto Spider-Man bootleg. This one is called Grand Theft Auto No Way Home. So No Way Home is loosely based off the 2021 film.
Come on, get out the car.
When you load into the game, you're given the option to choose from a dozen or so characters. You can play as Tobey Maguire, Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, or even Lizard. What makes this mod stand out is how it gives you the ability to web swing. The mechanic itself is really cool. At any point, by clicking R2 on the controller, CJ will jump up into the sky, allowing you to basically glide across the map. It also acts like a last-minute escape route if things get too dicey. The only real downside is that you can only move in one single direction. It's a little janky to say at least,
What the fuck?
but still impressive nonetheless. This mechanic also expands to being able to climb across practically every building in Los Santos. You can even do this cool backflip too. Outside of some minor changes, such as a different fighting style, No Way Home is a lot better than Spider-Man City. If I could change one thing with this mod, I would have chosen Liberty City Stories, since it's the closest adaptation to New York City and would have fit the game's tone a lot better, at least in my opinion. Next up, we have Grand Theft Auto San Andreas Open in IPIM. Alright, so this one is just weird. This is a bootleg based on a Malaysian kids television show. No, I'm not pulling your armpit hair. Someone really had the idea of infusing this into Grand Theft Auto. Anyhow, it's based on a popular San Andreas mod called Rampage. If you've ever seen Vinesauce Joel's video covering Grand Theft Auto Vegeta Edition, this is the exact same mod, but with whatever the this is supposed to be. The Rampage mod essentially works like this. You transform into a different character and are given a power meter. In order to charge the power meter, you have to cause as much chaos as possible. You can cause everything to explode around you, set the world on fire, or even pick up cars with your mind. And oh yeah, you can even fly here too. The best part of this mod is how you can use your abilities in cutscenes.
Who's this? Alright, what's up?
Overall, it's an okay bootleg, but kinda lazy in my opinion.
I can't believe she gone, man.
That's another funeral you ran away from, fool.
Moving on, we have Grand Theft Auto Anime Legend. Alright, where do I start with this one?
Ah, shit. Here we go again. Welcome to San Andreas. I'm CJ from Grove Street, land of the heinous game bangers and cold heat. In Los Santos, neighbors get no sleep, beefing with anybody, competing even police.
Now, Grand Theft Auto Anime Legend is a complete overhaul of San Andreas created by the San modding team. According to the mod's description, the team placed over 1,000 anime references across Los Santos. This compilation includes characters from well-known animes such as Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, and One Piece. Even the airport scene from the very beginning of the game got the anime treatment.
やりきった。調子いいかも。これください。ティッシュを配るわ。ミヤ。リツ、今ならちゃんと歌えそうかも。
All jokes aside, the Anime Legend mod is quite impressive. Every single NPC has been replaced with an anime character. The sheer variety of different character models is extensive, ensuring that you won't see the same model repeat over and over again. The city of Los Santos also received a facelift. It looks a lot more vibrant now. The palm trees have this neon hue to them, and the overall city looks a lot more colorful. I believe the goal here was to capture the essence of Japan, and I think they did a great job at it. I like how the team went as far as replacing CJ's fighting moves. Being able to Naruto run across a city is also a nice touch. Man, we all knew a guy in elementary school that used to do this. You can even get a haircut, which is pretty cursed if you ask me.
What the fuck?
My only real complaint is with one of the superpowers. One of the powers gives you the ability to cast a spell. This is a ton of fun to mess around with, especially inside the nightclub. But half the time you use it, it just kills you instantly. Sometimes the game will even bug out and keep spamming explosions even after you respawn at the hospital, which can get really annoying. I get that there is a mod menu that more than likely has the option for invincibility, but in my opinion, that should have been enabled by default. That being said, I respect the amount of work and time that went into this mod. It was clearly a passion project and it shows. I would 100% recommend trying this one out if you ever get the chance.
You haven't forgotten about us, have you, boy?
Hell no, Officer Tenpenny. I was just wondering what took y'all so long.
Get in the car.
Next up, we have good old Grand Theft Auto Dubai City. It begins with this full motion video for what looks like an advert for Dubai. Splash across the ad was his watermark for a site called Syrian Games. For shits and giggles, I looked it up and it appears the site no longer exists. I then threw the website into the Wayback Machine and found a snapshot of the site from 2008. On the surface level, it looks like your average website that you would use to download games from. It doesn't appear to be fishy or have anything out of the ordinary that I noticed at least. It more than likely hosted this game and other GTA bootlegs at one point. Anyways, Grand Theft Auto Dubai City basically amounts to being a texture swap of the CJ character model, as well as plastering random things in Arabic on buildings across Los Santos. Since I don't speak Arabic, I decided to translate it for myself. If I manage to get anything wrong here, don't blame me, blame Google. Alright, cool. I'll start with this location first that I found right next to where you find the BMX at the beginning of the game. When translated, it says Sheikh Zayed Road. Throwing that into Google Maps, it appears to be a popular road in the city that's over 500 kilometers long. I ran down the block and came across this one. When translated, it says 1 Khaled bin Al-Walid Street. When I also threw this into Google Maps, it gave me this random ass street in Saudi Arabia. Then I came across this billboard which when translated reads Al Murakabat. Fun fact for the day, it was the first place in Dubai to have a shopping mall as well as hosting the city's first McDonald's location. So yeah, nothing too crazy as far as I'm concerned. With a name like Dubai City, I was hoping to see more real life resemblance to the Gulf Tiger. Swapping random textures in the environment with text that doesn't look good to begin with is, I don't know, just kinda lame. I mean, at least they went for the effort of replacing all the radio station's music with their own custom soundtrack. But honestly, the best part of this bootleg is how geeked out CJ looks in the cutscenes. Alright, so the next game on the list is called Grand Theft Auto Resident Evil. When I found this bootleg online, the screenshots on the website made it seem like it was a completely different game built within Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. According to the mod's description, it reads, Grand Theft Auto Resident Evil is a mod designed to transport the characteristics universe of all Resident Evil franchises into the world of San Andreas. It includes skins, weapons, and various animations designed to take full advantage of the capabilities of the available tools. I'd say that the team got pretty close to achieving that goal. One of the first things that I noticed was just how well detailed Leon's character model is. With a lot of these bootlegs, you can tell that it's the same CJ player model, but with a different skin applied. However, that isn't the case here. It looks like the developers ripped the model straight out of Resident Evil 4 and dropped it into San Andreas without any noticeable changes. Well, to a degree, I suppose. Weapons have also received the RE4 treatment. I like how the team went as far as changing the camera angle whenever you aim down your sights. Los Santos' atmosphere has done a complete 180, and now has the same type of vibe as walking into the village for the first time in Resident Evil 4. Not for nothing, I really dig it. It adds a completely different feeling to the world and does enough to separate itself from the barrage of other bootlegs that I've played thus far. One goofy detail that I notice is how whenever you die, Leon will respawn, but in his underpants. Also, where the f did his legs go? If I could make one suggestion to the team behind this mod, I think that a horde style mode would have really complemented the game. Imagine fighting off endless waves of infected in somewhere like Grove Street for an example. Maybe add a point system to where the player can purchase new weapons, similar to buying guns off a wall in Zombies. You could even throw in power-ups like using a jetpack instead of Pack-a-Punch. Alright, maybe I'm just getting a little too carried away here, but it would have been cool regardless. In conclusion, Grand Theft Auto Resident Evil is a fever dream that any fan of the series should check out at least once.
You having a good day now, asshole?
It serves as a fun excuse to revisit San Andreas for the 100th time. Moving on, I've got something really special here. I managed to find an early copy of Grand Theft Auto 6 on the PlayStation 2. Now, I'm not exactly too sure where in the world this bootleg originated from. I want to say that it came from Brazil. However, I did stumble upon a Reddit post claiming it was being sold in Turkey. I'm going to assume that it's the same game, but who really knows this kind of stuff? Anyways, upon starting up the game, it presents you with a compressed version of the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess.
I'll tell you one thing, watching this trailer on a PlayStation 2 feels wrong. This just goes to show how far we've come with technology in the past 2 decades. So you might be asking yourself, what is it like to play Grand Theft Auto 6 on a PlayStation 2? Like is the case with most of the bootlegs so far, it mostly amounts to being yet another texture mod, but instead of using San Andreas, this time it's in Vice City. I do like how the mod allows you to swap between either Jason or Lucia. The modders even went the extra mile to include the character swap animation from Grand Theft Auto 5. Always a nice touch. Outside of that, Grand Theft Auto 6 on the PlayStation 2 is kinda cool, I guess. So the next game on the list is hands down the most impressive bootleg that we've covered thus far. I'm talking about Grand Theft Auto 5 Legacy Edition. GTA 5 Legacy Edition is a conversion mod that aims to replicate the original game on PlayStation 2 hardware. As you might have already guessed, it's built off San Andreas, but includes a ton of enhancements to the overall experience. You can choose to play as all 3 main protagonists and swap between them effortlessly, just like you could in GTA 5. The mod also includes a custom version of Grand Theft Auto 5's weapon wheel. While we're on the topic of weapons, certain guns like the pistol has been remodeled to resemble the pistol from the original game. I like how the dev went as far as bringing back all the original radio stations from Grand Theft Auto 5. The mod even goes as far as adding the ability to use your cell phone in-game, and even lets you hang out with people too. The visuals have also received an overhaul too. Los Santos looks a lot more clean and colorful. At times, I had to remind myself that this was running natively on a PlayStation 2. It's some real impressive stuff here. Some might find it takes away from the ambiance that San Andreas had, but different strokes for different folks. I could spend all day talking about the small details here, but this video would be like an hour long. I honestly can't get over just how awesome this mod is. If you guys are interested in learning more about this mod, I strongly recommend checking out this channel called Daniel Santos. He's the guy that's responsible for the whole thing and has a few videos showing behind the scenes on making the mod possible. As always, link will be in the description. Back on topic, playing Grand Theft Auto 5 Legacy Edition is like getting a glimpse into an alternative universe. This is the gold standard to what every Grand Theft Auto bootleg should aspire to be. The amount of potential that this has is just incredible. Big kudos to Daniel for pulling all this off. Okay, enough of Grand Theft Auto, let's now focus on something a bit more Casual. Introducing Tyracraft, an open-world voxel-based project that is heavily inspired by, well, I don't think I need to tell you, do I? Tyracraft is built on what is called the Tyra engine. It's a homebrew open-source game engine designed to make it as easy as possible to build your own video games on a PlayStation 2. Pretty neat. Unlike every other bootleg that I've covered so far, I was able to download this one directly from the creator's GitHub page. I have come across photos of Minecraft on the PlayStation 2, but I couldn't find a single rip of the supposed bootleg, so Tyracraft in this case will do. Without further ado, let's jump into Tyracraft. One of the first things you notice when walking around Tyracraft's world for the first time is just how relaxing everything is. The lo-fi beat that plays in the background gives a game a sense of comfort. It's an experience that's best played on an old CRT TV in the middle of the night, without a single care in the world, just one of yourself and your imagination keeping you company. The call this game a Minecraft clone is a fair assessment if I'm honest. It doesn't do anything to hide from the fact that it essentially is without saying it is, if that makes any sense. When I think of Minecraft clones, I picture those $1 indie games on Xbox Live back in the day. Games that more or less resemble a Dollar Tree version of Minecraft. Tyracraft in comparison feels more like an unreleased port of Minecraft. There is a functional day and night cycle, the ability to change what type of world you want to generate while giving you a familiar set of characters to play as. The controls are simple and easy to understand. You have unlimited resources to build whatever you feel like, while still retaining the essence that made Minecraft so therapeutic. To quote my boy Todd Howard, it just works. Tyracraft also looks and runs great on the PlayStation 2 hardware. Even when I decided to build what I like to call Mock Tower, the game kept a consistent frame rate and I didn't have any sort of significant drops through my playthrough. That's not to say that there isn't any sort of limitations, however. The draw distance is significantly reduced here, which can make it tricky to figure out where you're headed in the game's world. It does give you the option to tweak the draw distance in the game settings. Personally, I didn't notice much of a change, but your experience might be different than mine. One cool feature is how the Tyra engine allows you to import and play your own custom soundtracks, or sound bits in my case. I discovered a glitch where if you change any of the game's settings, it turns the background music into a Daft Punk sample. Anyways, I got bored of dicking around and decided to check out this mini game in Tyracraft called Mazecraft. The premise behind Mazecraft is simple. You have to navigate through the Stuart Little-sized maze, with the player having to find and destroy a randomly placed jack-o'-lantern on each level. I like how when you get closer to the pumpkin, the music kicks in and makes everything more suspenseful. And that's about it. The mode is a definition of the term work in progress and seems to be more experimental than anything else. If I could make a recommendation to the team, maybe add a random modifier that changes the player's attributes each round. So for example, level 2 could change how fast the player moves, while level 3 might require you to find and destroy 3 pumpkins instead of 1. Small things like that could really help give it longevity and better replay value. In short, Tyracraft is one of the best Minecraft clones that I've ever played. Despite it being in pre-alpha, the team behind this project has nailed the core experience while making it work flawlessly on the PlayStation 2. I cannot wait to see what this project looks like in the years to come. I would strongly recommend giving it a try. Moving on, let's go explore the Wild West of Guitar Hero Bootlegs. So I can't tell you the last time I played this game. I want to say it was late 2000s if my memory serves me right. To my surprise, it turns out that Guitar Hero is still incredibly popular in Southern America. What makes the illegal Guitar Hero market so fascinating is how the community comes together and creates their own custom versions of the game. You got stuff like Guitar Hero 2 Sex, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, Guitar Hero Iron Maiden, Guitar Hero Linkin Park, the list goes on. One of them that caught my attention was called Guitar Hero 2 Sonic vs. Mario Edition. So when you start up this puppy for the very first time, it greets you with a trailer for Sonic vs. Mario at the Olympic Games 2010. So despite calling itself Sonic vs. Mario, it has nothing to do with the Olympics or the games themselves. The game amounts to being an unofficial track pack that takes some of the most iconic songs from each IP and shoves them into Guitar Hero. You got classics like the Super Mario Bros. Theme, a Steve Vai inspired rendition of the Sonic the Hedgehog theme, the Donkey Kong theme, etc. I like how the only difficulty that you can choose in this mod is Expert, which brings me to my next point. Playing Guitar Hero using a DualShock 2 controller is a complete pain in the dick. One of the main benefits of using an actual Guitar Hero controller is how each chord has their own corresponding color, making it easier to follow what note does what. Since the DualShock 2 doesn't have that luxury, it turns the experience into a nightmare to play. To the developer's defense, there really isn't any other way to make this experience play better when using a DualShock controller. I will give credit where credit is due and appreciate the fact they can at least play it without a guitar controller, especially considering how those have gotten significantly more expensive nowadays for some reason. One small detail that I did appreciate is how the modder went through the extra effort of adding Mario and Sonic in the menu screens. Back on topic, there really isn't much else to say here about Guitar Hero Sonic vs. Mario. It's just a goofy fan-made track pack with out-of-context Mario and Sonic references thrown in. If I could be a Karen for a second, why the f would you call this Sonic vs. Mario and not change any of the character models? Isn't the whole idea to have Sonic or Mario rocking out on stage? At least go for the effort of putting Knuckles on bass or Donkey Kong on the drums. Come on now, shake my head. I'm going to assume that's not possible in the PlayStation 2 version, but if it was, it would have been a nice touch. Next up, we have Guitar Hero Live 2.0. Now, Guitar Hero Live was never released on the PlayStation 2, since by the time it dropped in 2015, the console was already discontinued. This bootleg attempts to bring that experience over to the platform in the form of a Guitar Hero 3 mod. According to the website that I downloaded this from, it includes improvements to text, textures, and images to make it resemble Guitar Hero Live. This mod also includes exclusive songs not found in the original game. So yeah, cool. Let's go check this out. When you first boot up Guitar Hero Live on the PlayStation 2, it greets you with open arms by attempting to blow up your eardrums. I have to admit, hearing Skrillex again made me reminiscent of the early 2010s. Such a simpler time, man. Anyways, back on topic, Guitar Hero Live 2.0 is more of a reskin of Guitar Hero 3 than an official release of the game. The track list here is all over the place. Starting out, you got Linkin Park, Bruno Mars, Carly Rae Jepsen, remember her? And Fun. It also includes songs from A7X, System of the Down, Pantera, Calvin Harris, 30 Seconds to Mars, the list goes on. As the old saying goes, variety is the spice of life, and that is 100% the case here. If I could find something to complain about, certain tracks in this game don't really work well in Guitar Hero. I'll give you an example. I played this one Bruno Mars track, and for a good 45 seconds, nothing happened. I just stood there awkwardly waiting for some notes to come on screen. Maybe it was due to the difficulty that I was playing on, but in my opinion, I found it kind of takes you out of the experience. That being said, I do respect the amount of effort that went into creating this mod. Everything from the small details, such as changing how the fretboard buttons look on screen, to how the modder attempted to recreate the main menu from Guitar Hero Live. Even if they're considered subtle details that most people won't notice, it always makes exploring bootlegs a lot more fun and honestly even more enjoyable in my opinion. Anyways, there still is a ton of Guitar Hero bootlegs out there, and I would love to cover more of them in a future video. Before we end this video, I just want to say a big shout out to the following YouTube members and Discord users for their continued support on the video. The following YouTube members are LittleKU_400, Time Tunnel 4956, Shinoa LX Haversen, Y_not_I, Abstract NX Gen, Hatred, Dakota Crimson, Estelle Frost, TJ's Techniche, Za, Baba Halwa, Chrissy TM, Canadian Jelly 90, Another Foxboy, Jcash_1, Fruzilla, and Hurdy, as well as fellow Discord users Kanai78, Heavy Weapons Guy, and Alert 3. Thank you guys so much, it is greatly appreciated. And that was exploring illegal PlayStation 2 games. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm currently working on a video covering the PSP online community, where I spent a few weeks exploring dead PSP online games. It's coming together quite well, and hopefully I'll have it out very soon, so stay tuned for that. But most importantly, if you enjoy this style of content, please consider leaving a like or even a subscription. It is greatly appreciated. But until next time fellas, peace.